Hi everyone! So today I am at the Tiffany event. So they're debuting their new lock collection and I'm with my lovely friend Elizabeth. Hi! Who I have known for about 20 years, which is actually mad. We went to school together. So I invited her to this event with me today because I know she loves Tiffany. And we are now just having something very special done, a little illustration with Scott, who I'm going to show you in a minute. So he's actually just doing an amazing little, what would you call it, a caricature illustration?
Yeah, portrait.
Yeah. Which is amazing. So we are having a nice glass of champers. We're just cheersing, and we're going to be having a look at the collection, which hopefully I'm going to be able to show you guys in a minute. I think I'm allowed to film the event. We'll see. We think so. But we're going to be having a look around, and there's a DJ here. There's lots of cocktails and music, so it's going to be really fun. So join us today. So Scott is doing a little picture of me right now. Oh, looks amazing. So he took a little photo and we could have just kind of browsed around, but we wanted to watch him do his magic and it looks great. We quickly hopped upstairs, didn't we, when we got here, because we wanted to make sure that we got in quick, because I'm sure there's going to be a big queue, but it's looking great. And this is his card here if you ever wanted to contact him for any work. He's an illustrator, so he does lots of events like this. Let me show you some of the pieces that he's done already. Absolutely beautiful. Here is my beautiful portrait. He's even drawn my dress, which is gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. I will keep it forever, and I've got a beautiful Tiffany envelope to put it in as well. Thank you so much, Scott.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all today? You look amazing. Welcome to Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, where we're all here to discover our latest and most highly anticipated collection launch, Tiffany Lock. My name's Bryony Meredith. It's lovely to meet you all. I'm part of the leadership team here at Tiffany & Company, and it's my absolute honour to be able to introduce to you tonight our very special guest, celebrity stylist and fashion editor, Nicky Yates. Nicky, welcome. Honestly, it is such a thrill to have you here this evening. Your talent and your experience and your career has been absolutely exceptional. You are literally one of the most sought-after celebrity stylists in the industry. You have a plethora of celebrity clients who are incredibly loyal to you, and I know that your name regularly appears on the most powerful stylist lists in the world. So it's a real pleasure to have you here, but what got you into the industry? How did you get into this role?
Wow. That's probably a bit better there. Well, I guess I kind of got into it at quite a young age. My mother and grandmother were in fashion, they were designers in Australia. And I think from a very young age I loved fashion and being around clothes, and got my first summer job at sort of 15. I think I lied about my age to get the job, and work in shops, and I then pretty quickly worked out that I wanted to work in a magazine, and magazines in Brisbane, in Australia, weren't a big thing. So I thought London was the best place to come. So I came to London at about, I think I was like 18 or 19, just for 6 months, just to do an internship and then go back to Australia. So I did my 6 months at Marie Claire magazine. That was my favourite magazine at the time, and worked very hard, couldn't believe such a job existed. And then straight from there, luckily, because it's potluck a lot of the time, I got offered a job from the work experience. So started working in fashion, the fashion department, and travelling and working with models and styling on a junior level, obviously, as an assistant. And then from there, got a job at Harper's. It was Harper's and Queen, then it's Harper's Bazaar now. And then ended up at ES magazine, as they relaunched ES magazine, and I started as a fashion director there. And it was at the point where celebrity was really kind of coming into the power, I guess. All the celebrities were on the cover of magazines and heading up campaigns where it was normally models, so it was quite a sort of turning point. So I got to work with a lot of talented actors and actresses and sportsmen and musicians, musicians, and that was the point that I met my first actress that I started doing red carpet with, Claire Foy. She was the queen in The First Crown. I don't know if you love Claire. She's incredible. So she was my first, and she'd never had a stylist, and I hadn't done much red carpet. So together we kind of started off together. And what was crazy was she sort of straight off the bat was nominated for all the Emmys and Golden Globes and SAG awards, and so was sort of finding all these outfits quite quickly. And then on top of that, she was winning all the awards. So there was a lot of press and a lot of publicity. And from that, I kind of switched over from magazines and went into the red carpet world. And from there, just got new clients and have a little roster of girls that I work with regularly now.
Absolutely, and you have a lot of celebrity clients that are incredibly loyal to you. We've seen the likes of Jessica Chastain, Kerry Mulligan, and then of course our own Tiffany ambassadors, Emma Raducanu, and of course Daisy as well, Daisy Edgar Jones. Very different women with all very different personalities. So when you're styling your clients, what sort of rules do you stick to, or perhaps what's more interesting, what rules do you like to break?
I don't know, when I sort of think about fashion rules, I think about the things that my mom and grandmother was telling me when I was growing up. Things like never wear navy and black, when actually navy and black is very chic, and don't mix your metals, but mixing metals I think is key, like all the sort of silvers and golds, and I think it's kind of key to mix metals to give you that personal style.
I'm glad you said that, because
I was just saying, yeah, definitely mixing metals. So yeah, I sort of think as far as sticking to rules, I think it's impossible to stick to rules when you've got so many different people and so many different styles and things that people like and don't like. I guess I stick more to guidelines, maybe. I sort of have 3 main guidelines that I'll stick to when I'm working with my clients, with the celebrities. The first one would be undergarments. I would say one of the most important things of a look is making sure you're wearing the right fitting bra, that you've got seamless knickers, that you've got Spanx. Sometimes even just psychologically wearing Spanx makes you feel better than even if you need them.
Sometimes I wear 2 pairs.
They do them for men now too.
Are you listening, gentlemen? We've got them for men now.
So yeah, I think first of all, starting with that is rule number 1. Well, not rule, guideline number 1. Make sure everything is perfectly fitting underneath. And sometimes even things like, I had a slip dress the other day, and it was, you had to really pick the right sort of seamless knickers for my actress to wear. But you could still see the little dip of her belly button. So we put like a cotton wool bud with a little bit of tape over it, and then it's all smooth.
Getting all the secrets, everybody, all the secrets.
So sometimes it's being sort of a bit creative, but yeah, underneath everything fitting well, and that's key. I guess the second thing would be tailoring, making sure things fit from all angles. Especially for red carpet, it's hugely important. But having a great tailor, I think, is one of the most important things. I'd say about 95% of the looks that leave the studio and go onto the red carpet have been tailored, even just junkets, just everything from every angle. And sometimes I think, I'm sure everyone's done that, they've gone into a store or a boutique and not bought something because, I don't know, the waistband was a bit thick, or the lapel was a bit wide, or the length was a bit wrong, but you can tailor so much and make things perfect. So I think making sure you have a good tailor, I've got an address book if anyone's looking for one, and making sure pieces are tailored perfectly to your body. And then I think the third thing would be making sure when you have an outfit, I would say one thing is kind of doing the talking and everything else is quite quiet. I think if you're wearing like a full-on sort of encrusted couture gown, and then you've got a huge choker and the big earrings and it's a bit overwhelming. So I also think pick one piece that does the talking, whether it's, I remember years ago Angelina Jolie wearing that strapless black column dress to the Oscars, and she had nothing else on but these huge emerald earrings. And it was incredible. So it's kind of picking the thing that you want to be the statement piece and then making everything else a little bit more quiet behind it. I would say.
So that really key statement piece that's
Yeah.
going to pull that look together.
Yeah, or whether it's the hair or the makeup, but I wouldn't do everything at once. Sometimes when you get a lot of creatives in a room, everyone wants to have their moment, but you kind of have to pick your turn.
Amazing guidelines, definitely something that I'll take on board for sure. So of course then there's fashion trends, and I'm sure that fashion trends do play an important part in some of the decisions that you make. But what about trends for jewellery? What sort of jewellery trends are you noticing currently at the moment?
Well, I've done a few little boards of jewellery trends, but I think it's important to point out that I don't think, it's like following rules, I don't think trends you should follow too closely. I mean, be aware of them, and obviously it's nice to sort of nod to a trend and be aware, but I always think if a trend fits into the way you already dress and the style that you already have, then great, or you can just update it a little bit with, you know, the right shoe or that's, you know, oversized blazer or something that's kind of in a trend. But I remember one of the magazines I worked at, actually, I had this fashion editor who would come head to toe every day in a different look, like a different trend, and she'd be military one day with a severe side part and a red lip and a military blaze with sort of epaulets, and then the next day it was sort of a Frida Kahlo look with the fresh flowers woven into her hair, and she was so committed to her trends that you certainly never really knew who she was, to be honest. So yeah, I think don't follow trends too closely, but they're great to be inspired by.
It is so important to have your personality coming through, isn't it? And I think you can use those trends to inspire.
Yeah.
And then take it and adapt it to your authentic look.
Exactly. I agree. So the first trend that I saw a lot of on the runways was off the cuff. Lots of cuffs around. And I like that it's a sort of variety of like a celeron, where that's again what I was saying before, like having a super minimal silhouette and then stacking it up on the cuffs. You've got super, like loads of cuffs of all different sort of varieties all stacked up, but everything else in the look is super simple. And then Loewe is always one for a great cuff, like a kind of, it's quite striking that you can just have one piece. McQueen were doing the double cuffs, Rigoans, the double cuffs. I like the symmetry as well, when you have quite a simple look of doing two cuffs at the same time. And also not be afraid of wearing cuffs over you know, gloves or long sleeves. I think people think that you have to sort of have bare arms for cuffs. Yes.
I love a cuff myself.
I spotted your cuff.
Wearing the Elsa Ferretti cuff.
Chokers are back, but I don't know if they ever really go away. I feel like there's always a choker around. But I like this trend that you can do a bit of a DIY yourself. You can kind of get a little grosgrain ribbon or a little velvet ribbon and sort of tie it around your neck like a brodate. Miu Miu and Pucci, I like that the sort of, it's almost like the jewellery is part of the look, like you don't really know where the necklace ends and the dress begins. And then the stacking as well. I think stacking, like you stack cuffs, it's quite nice to sort of stack chokers as well. So yes, that's...
I really wouldn't think to do that, to stack chokers, but it looks amazing, doesn't it?
It's pretty cool actually, and different, and you can sort of do different metals as well, it doesn't have to be the same. Gobstoppers. Pearls. If you're into pearls, this is kind of a new way of doing pearls. Super oversized statement, quite sort of, I don't know, like it's basically a modern take on pearls. So if you're into that, that's popping up all over the place.
It's wonderful because we have some absolutely incredible pearls at Tiffany Company and pieces that have been years in the making to really make sure that they're matched perfectly. So it works really well with what we have on offer today.
And then flowers, gilding the lily, lots of flowers popping up in collections as well, I noticed. Again, sort of working into the neckline of things, so it's almost like a two-in-one. So you've got your jewellery already part of your dress. Little handmade ones, like sort of little ones you used to wear as you were a kid, the little beaded ones at Miu Miu. And
So sweet.
I know, right? And then brooches. I've seen a few brooches here tonight, actually, which are always key.
They're making a comeback, aren't they? They were so popular sort of 100 years ago and went out of favour, but now they're really coming back.
And then charms and personalisation. I do think that that's what we were talking about before. You can't really follow rules if you want your kind of your own personalised look. And I know it's different. It was an interior designer telling me that when you move into your house, don't ever buy all the furniture straight away. You always have to live in a space and add things, and as you travel, add things as you go along. So I sort of think it's the same with jewellery. I think the most authentic personalization is when it sort of builds up over the years, and you have little stories and little moments that mean something just for you. A friend of mine has this beautiful gold disc actually, and she's got the birthstones of all her children studded in like little stars into the gold disc, which I think is a really nice, nice way of making it personal to
But
you.
it is, jewellery is such a personal purchase, isn't it? And you buy it for special occasions, special events, but then your life gets sort of imbued into it. All the little marks.
It tells a story.
Absolutely. It's fantastic, and it really does add to the style of it.
Yeah, completely. This is more minimal, super minimal, the curved jewellery, sort of cuffs, necklaces, but everything quite simple, which I think is if you're not wanting to do the kind of stacking and overdoing it, you can do this kind of minimal curve, cuffs, bracelets, that type of thing. Hoops, again, is it a new trend, hoops?
I love a hoop.
Hoops are always around, but they are sort of doing different shapes and textures, and there's definitely a lot of hoops, as you can see, but being a bit sort of adventurous with them. And then lock and key. It's a sort of, there's a bit of a punk trend going on, so you can either go full on punk like a coach and kind of do the leather choker with a key, which is actually quite handy if you're forgetful with your keys. It's quite a good one. And a lot of single earrings as well, like mismatching earrings or single earrings. So yeah, I don't know, quite literal having actual keys hanging off your ears, but it's a trend if you're into that type of thing.
Well, some fantastic trends, and I'm not surprised to see them at all, because really they're echoed in the pieces of jewellery that we offer at Tiffany & Company. So tell us a little bit more. So I know the basics. I know I need to get my underwear right. I know I need to get a good tailor. I know some fantastic trends to be able to be inspired by and make my own. But how about taking it further? How do you advise us to style our jewellery for perhaps a day look? And then how do we take that to the evening?
Okay, well, I have a slide for that. Day looks. So I've just basically gone through, and I think I've sort of picked out some of the looks that, I think are useful as well for trends. Not that we're following trends, it's the same with fashion, but it's good to sort of know that the trends are out there, and I've seen lots of kind of bright colours. They're calling it dopamine dressing, which I think is what we all need right now for the last couple of years we've had. So the first image, I think I love the layering of jewellery on top of chunky sort of knitwear. I think diamonds and knitwear and denim is such a great look. So I think it's just trying to think of different ways to wear pieces basically. It doesn't always have to be the traditional way.
Absolutely, make it a bit unexpected, right?
Yeah.
Make it your own.
Yeah. Waistcoats, there's a lot of waistcoats around. I've already spotted you with a three-piece suit. And that's the thing, is that when you invest in things like this, like a three-piece suit, your waistcoat, you can just wear with sort of wide leg denim, you can wear it as for a full set, but it's good to invest in the pieces that you can kind of break up and spend money on the pieces you can use throughout the season. And also going forward, I don't think they ever date. I don't think three-piece suits date. But what I will say is the oversized trend, I think it's great in real life, but I think on the red carpet it has to be sort of tailored in a way to look oversized without being too exaggerated. So say if you're going to do an oversized jacket, you can always take it in, like Acne for example, they look amazing on the runway, but when you actually put them on, the shoulders out over here. So I think you can easily get it tailored to sort of sit off the shoulder, but be wearable and still have, look feminine, I guess. Investing, not that this is jewellery, but a loafer, a chunky square toe loafer is a great investment for autumn winter. And then anything else? Leather, lots of leather jackets around. And then I just popped a few kind of jewellery styling ideas. Actually, jewellery in the hair, I think is quite underrated, because you can obviously, I've done a lot with red carpet where I've taken earrings or necklaces or brooches and sort of sewn them into the hair. Actually, it's quite stressful for the guards, they don't love that. But if you pin it and sew it in enough, I think it's a nice way of making your jewellery more versatile, basically. The cuff around the neck over the hair, I probably wouldn't do it over the hair, but I do think it's quite a cool image. And if you're looking for style inspiration for the men, Timothy, I never know, Chalamet.
Let's go
Timothy. He's a great style. The way he wears his jewellery, I think it's such, he always looks like he owns it, even though a lot of the time I'm guessing he probably doesn't.
So really what we're seeing is have fun with it, right? And be creative and do something that feels right for you.
And buy into the trends if there's something that you're already into, rather than sort of creating new personas every time there's a new trend.
Having those really sort of simplistic silhouettes that you can stack, that you can layer, they're really going to work, aren't they? And really help you to be able to encourage that trend, but also really be yourself.
And you can update your wardrobe by literally adding the right shoes, like making your shoes square instead of pointy, getting your jacket a few sizes bigger. So certain things like that that kind of make it more relevant. Evening looks, and also as much as you tailor your clothes, you can tailor your jewellery as well. Like the second look, that's Daisy Edgar-Jones for the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. We had found this great necklace, but it was too long for the neckline of the dress. So kindly at Tiffany, they took out links and made it fit at the exact right position.
Amazing.
So I think don't be afraid to sort of alter jewellery pieces as well, bring them closer to the neck if it's that time of year, and you drop them down again. I sort of think it's all about alterations and tailoring depending on what's happening at that point in time.
It comes back to your guidelines as well, that we shouldn't just think about that in terms of clothes, should we? We think we should think about it in jewellery.
Yeah, completely. And there's just a few. I love suiting, evening suiting. I think it's incredible, and you can see at the end it's just like one of those sort of modern hoops and nothing else. I think if that suit had a choker and earrings, I sort of think I'd never style a big necklace and earrings. I'd always do either the earrings and keep the neck bare, or I'd do the necklace and keep the earrings. Sometimes no jewellery at all, but I think I would rather go under than over on the jewellery, actually. And then here's just a few more key pieces. The power of a great piece of jewellery when everything else is quite plain, and you just pick one piece that kind of can really finish up a look.
I love this look. This was one of my favourite looks that I saw.
Yeah, evening wear, that sort of tailored evening wear. And actually at the end, Elle Fanning, isn't it? She's got a pink diamond, which is in the look. You can't even barely see it, but it's like a bow tie. I like the sort of pale pink of the bow tie, matching cheeks, and then this gorgeous drop, which is kind of so interwoven in the outfit you almost can't see it.
I love that matching makeup with your jewellery. Fantastic. So really what we're looking at here is streamlined silhouettes, bold looks, things that can make a statement. Sounds like Tiffany Lock.
I think so.
Should we have a look at some pieces and do some stuff?
Yeah, why don't we?
Brilliant, fantastic. So we'll just handle as a really exceptional piece. You've got that lovely streamlined silhouette, and it opens incredibly beautiful. It has a mechanism that took over a year to create. And you have to open it in a very specific way. It's a lock, so there's only one way to open it, and that is you find the little groove at the side of the bangle. Thank you so much. And then you hold it at either side and you pull it, and that makes the swivel there. So Nicky, how would you style lock?
Again, it's sort of down to your personal style, but I do love stacking, and I love stacking over time. And she got a little sort of funny little woven thing my son made me earlier, but it's nice to have your memories and everything sort of telling a story on your wrist, around your neck. So I'd sort of be happy to either wear it a couple, like mirror it, having it on either side, or stack it up. Like I love the Elsa Peretti cuff, the huge one there as well, where you just sort of layer it up. So, and again, it's mixing your metals. Like don't be afraid of mixing the white gold with the yellow gold, with the rose gold, with a little sort of woven something from your travels, from a bandana. Actually, no one wants to wear a bandana. But yeah, exactly, like that sort of thing where you're stacking it. Maybe go for a little smaller one. Do you want to go smaller? That might be a bit wide. So long wrist.
I love this. So we've got the really chunky bone cuff, and that lock bangle just bringing the focus up to the top. And then just elevating it with this beautiful diamond line bracelet as well. What a stacker.
That's incredible. Yeah, so it's basically just variations depending on what you're wearing. But again, I probably wouldn't do that with earrings and with I think it's sort of, you know, just letting one thing kind of, but with Montbard great for stacking. That's definitely a stackable cuff. But yeah, I think it's probably worth just coming up and having a look and trying stuff on. It's probably the easiest way of doing it than watching us fumble around up here.
Okay, so this is the Tiffany lock bracelet, and it comes with diamonds around one side, and it also can come with diamonds on the other side.
Diamonds
too.
on this side here,
Amazing.
or just plain. But then what we say, unlock, unlock, opla,
Wow,
the
look
lock,
at that.
or
Beautiful.
lock,
So it's actually really easy to put on and off.
the lock.
Perfect. Oh, it looks amazing. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
So I didn't finish the vlog off last night because when I left Tiffany's it was really dark and I didn't really want to film because I was concentrating on getting home. So I just want to show you what they gave us when we left. So they gave us the cutest little bags. My favourite colour bag. And inside they've got some little chockies, which is really nice. Yeah, I'm not sure what's actually inside, but I think they're just some cute little chocolates. But I just want to say how amazing the event was. Meeting Nicky Yates was fantastic. She was so lovely and really down to earth and just a genuine person, really helpful, lovely to chat to her. So thank you so much, Nicky, for making us feel really welcome there. And yeah, it was brilliant. We absolutely loved our illustration as well. That Scott did for us, that was amazing. I've linked his details as well for you guys. But yeah, we had a really nice time and we tried on some jewellery which I just showed you guys, which is great. And yeah, so just thank you so much for Tiffany's for having us at the event, and thank you guys for watching, and I will be back with more soon. Thanks, bye. Here's a sneak peek of what's in the chocolate. So these are Paul A. Young fine chocolates, so they look beautiful, and I'm going to try them in a minute, and hopefully they are going to be as delicious as they look.